This news update is brought to you by...
Say hello to Carol. Carol talks for a living, from morning till night. So she relies on Flo's crystal clear home phone service brought to her through Flo's 100% fiber to the home network. It keeps her in the know, and because she bundles her mobile broadband and TV services, she enjoys huge savings, so she can enjoy much more for much less. So visit any Flo retail outlet, call 1-800-804-2994, or visit discoverflow.co to find out more. One-of-a-kind connection. This is how we flow.
It's Tuesday, March 22nd, and time for the Barbados Today afternoon update. So glad you can join us. I'm Fernella Wedderburn. Senior teacher at the Combaham School, Rev Charles Morris, will not be appearing before the Ministry of Education's disciplinary panel today. So says President of the Barbados Secondary Teachers Union, Mary Wedman. Reverend Morris is charged with breaching the ministry's code of conduct and ethics when he spoke publicly about the environmental problems currently being experienced at the school in an interview with Barbados Today. Redmond says Morris will not be attending not only because he's sick, but because the union is still waiting on a reply from the ministry on the matter. There is no magic pill to address the problems facing the Queen Elizabeth Hospital. That's according to Independent Senator Professor Sir Henry Fraser, as he contributed to the debate on the estimates of revenue and expenditure in the upper house this morning, pointing out that the amount allocated in the fiscal package cannot adequately address the financial problems at the QEH. Sir Henry put forward a combination of recommendations to help fund the sector. Those include a health levy similar to that of a drug levy of 30 years ago, tax incentives, and a token fee for service.
Of course, there can always be improvements in efficiency. That is a much vaunted proposal, and assumptions are made that there is huge wastage, perhaps by every healthcare provider within the hospital from top to bottom. That is always the implication. I'm not sure how accurate that is and how major savings can be made in that way, but certainly auditing of the hospital in a very serious way, as is done in some hospitals in North America, is something that the Ministry of Health should be looking at. And of course, a token fee for service, as for the collection of the prescription from the pharmacy, a token fee for service as introduced in our neighboring OECS countries 20 to 30 years ago, could also be used. But this, of course, may upset and offend our freeness mentality, and it seems to be less popular a possibility.
There is a call for the Ministry of Water Resource Management to hastily address the concerns of Barbadians living in the northern part of the island who are being severely affected by water shortages. It comes from Shadow Minister of Water Resource Management, Trevor Prescott, as the country celebrates World Water Day. And he says the opposition Barbados Labour Party is willing to join in any effort to improve the sustainable management of the island's fresh water resources and secure the economic advancement of Barbados, Pointing to this year's theme of water and jobs, Prescott said a special attention must be placed on those who work in water-related activities, such as farmers, fishermen, craftsmen, vendors, and those in the tourism sector. Meantime, President of the Caribbean Development Bank, Dr. Warren Smith, is proposing regulatory reforms in the water sector similar to those in the electricity sector as a way of addressing the water situation facing Barbados and several of its Caribbean neighbors. He put forward the suggestion as he delivered the Fair Trading Commission's annual lecture on the topic Regulating Utilities in Small Island Developing States, Lessons for the Caribbean. Dr. Smith said these reforms should include the establishment of appropriate policy and regulatory frameworks to encourage private investment in new water harvesting, desalination, while changing consumption patterns.
At present, this type of framework is generally absent in Caribbean countries, where there is also significant underinvestment in the water sector. Governments must act urgently to address issues of governance, management, and viability so that an adequate, high-quality, reliable and affordable supply of water is available to support transformational economic growth and sustainable development. This could entail, in many cases, consumers being asked to pay the higher economic price of water.
In sports, renovation works on the Garfield Sobers Gymnasium will take about 15 months to complete. Word of this from Minister of Sports and Culture, Stephen Lashley, who says the work, which is set to begin soon, will cost some $19 million. The full refurbishment, which is being done by a Chinese group, will see the facility getting, among other things, a new floor and being waterproofed.
The refurbishment of the Garfield Sobers Gymnasium at a cost of approximately 19 million Barbados dollars will result in significant improvement of this space. Certain elements that tended to impact costs, such as electricity, will be reduced, making rental fees more competitive, and the installation of photovoltaic solar panels. The floor, as you heard, will be refurbished to international standards, creating a surface that will allow sporting organizations to consider Barbados as a location for training during the winter season.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Secure your future, be financially strong. Since 1983, we have been there for you. A smart range of products, great tax benefits. We're the solution to your hopes and your dreams. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. Humble beginnings to smart loans, smart savings. Save smart and borrow smarter, that's the move for me. Stability, prosperity, we're the solution to your hopes and your dreams. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union.
To news from the region now, Antigua and Barbuda's main opposition, United Progressive Party, is calling on the government to rethink its decision to allow Iraqi nationals to participate in the country's citizenship by investment program. In a statement yesterday, the Gaston Brown administration said the island stands to benefit significantly as a result of a newly formed alliance between the two countries. However, UPP leader Harold Lovell, who is also calling on the government to rethink its move to establish diplomatic relations, said it would not benefit the people of the country. And on the international scene, Brussels today raised its terrorism threat to its highest level. This after twin blasts hit the country's international airport and the city metro station, killing 31 people and injuring over 100 more. James Firkin, who was at the Brussels airport when the blast occurred, spoke with the BBC.
We're at home now. We're in a bit of sort of shock. We're not physically, miraculously, I don't know how we're not physically hurt. We were queuing to check in at the desk row 8, which is fairly near the Starbucks coffee shop. And I actually went towards the Starbucks to go and get a tea for my partner. And it was at that moment that the first explosion happened. So the idea of getting a tea stopped being a good one, and I ran back to my partner, and the ceiling was falling in. There was debris falling all around us. General panic, I think, would be the best way to describe it. And I just jumped on top of my partner and covered us with the suitcase so that, to protect us from the falling ceiling. We were also, sort of talking about it afterwards, we also realised that we were afraid that there may be shooting, but that didn't happen at all. I didn't hear any shots, or people are reporting that they were shouting in Arabic. I personally didn't hear any shouting in Arabic where we were in near the the check-in row 8.
And that's news and sports, but for the very latest, visit our website www.barbadostoday.bb. Also, subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, and like us on Facebook. We're also on Izumi Media and bus terminals or screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you, as well as Channel 99 on Flow TV and the Mix 96.9 FM. I'm Frenella Wedderburn. Good afternoon.